You guys, I'm actually annoyed because for the past however long, I've been making educational video on top of educational video on top of educational video. I miss talking to my girls. I miss girl talk. I miss sharing story times. Girls, sit down. We need to talk. Boys, you gotta go. I'm sorry, you can stay, but this is girl talk. For real. I never would have thought when I first started dating in the early parts of my grad school that I would even bag a stable adult. And I didn't mean like bag, I meant to like scoop bag, because I felt like baggage. I felt like me being a student, financially, emotionally, mentally, emotionally, I am baggage to a stable adult because I bring nothing to the table aside from stress, brokenness, complaints, and future ambition. Like, you know, I will graduate with my degree in 5 years, so you can just hold it down. I want to talk to you guys today about the 4 typical types of men that you're almost guaranteed to meet while you're doing grad school. I feel like dating in general for women has been complicated, has been, you know, a little bit strenuous. And I'm trying to use these words carefully because I don't think dating for women these days is trash or that it's terrible. I think it's just learning how to navigate dating that's completely different from the way that our parents dated. My great-granddad had like a middle school education. So I wouldn't expect them to tell me, yeah, we met in graduate school, because college in general was just like not a thing, especially being African American in the South, where my great-grandparents were. So dating for me as a 20-something-year-old, or for y'all as a 20-something, 30-something, maybe even 40-something-year-old in 2025, while getting your degree is just, whew. I've noticed like 4 typical groups, let's call them groups, of men that I would come across as a graduate student. The first one I think is the most common, and probably even the first guy that you may meet, date, because it was the first one for me at least. I didn't date him, but it was the first interact, that's the word. The first guy that you may even interact with if you are open to dating in graduate school is the already Dr. Ego. He's already a doctor. This could be his 2nd year, his 3rd year, his 10th year. He's already a doctor. You can't tell him nothing. Ego is up here, height is down here. It ain't matching, but look, we don't judge. I noticed that these group of men saw me, at least, as like a less serious version of where they are. Like, yes, we're on the same degree path. Yes, we're in the same university that was like super competitive, but it was kind of like they saw me as like, oh, she's new, she's fresh meat, she's here for a good time. Like, no, baby, I'm here for my degree just like you are. So let's not do that. These type of guys, I noticed, constantly name drop conferences. Oh yeah, you know, I was at NSBE, National Society for Black Engineers. I was at the ACSC last week. Oh yeah, you know, I actually am on the president board of blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, good for you. But when the first thing that comes out your mouth is your ego, hush it, baby, I don't want to hear it. Once you have that first conversation with them, you know, oh, you got a big ego, baby. Okay, so no judgment to the girls that do like a big ego guy. Like Beyonce said, he got a big ego. If that's what you like, that's what you like. But it is typical, like there are a typical group of men in your graduate program that will fall into that category. The second group is the ambitious, insecure guy. I'm not sure what to call it, but he's a little insecure, and I don't mean insecure in himself, but maybe more so insecure in what you are pursuing, but he admires your ambition. That's probably the only thing he likes about you, is the fact that you are getting your doctorate. He calls you my little Michelle Obama. He calls you my Olivia Pope. He calls you my Oprah Winfrey. And in the beginning with these guys, they literally, from my experience, are like so down for you. Like, yes, babe, work 12 hours. It's okay that you're texting me 12 hours later because you were studying. Good communication, of course. Like, it's okay that you can't come see me this weekend because you're at a conference. But then slowly it turns into resentment. You work too much. You study too much. Why don't you have good time management? Baby, I'm in a PhD program. Or they make jokes about you being too busy for your relationship. Or they make jokes about how much money you got. Okay, Miss Money. Okay, big bank, you gonna buy me lunch one day? I'm actually not gonna buy you lunch at all. I learned to never apologize for being focused. Have good communication, like, hey, got a busy day coming up, just gonna let you know I might be AWOL for a couple of hours, but I'm not gonna apologize for being focused. I'm not gonna apologize that it's 8 o'clock at night and I'm probably still studying. I am not going to apologize. You knew what this was from the get-go, baby. Get with the program or get off. And I say this not to be cocky, not to be like a workaholic, but I am very big on finding your right person, not finding the perfect person, but finding the right person. And for me, the ambitious, insecure guys were not my perfect person, because I felt like the right person would not see my focus, my discipline, my determination as a threat. The third group, it's pretty vague, but it is a group that has a label. Your classmates, your colleagues. Equally as stressed, equally as anxious, equally as broke as you, equally as frustrated. I knew I wasn't gonna date one of my colleagues. I kind of told myself in my head, I am not dating my classmates because I don't want to be dating somebody I'm on the struggle bus with. I want us to help each other and encourage each other and uplift each other, but we should not be kissing each other. And I love hearing stories about classmates who found their husband or wife through grad school. I love that for you, but that's not my fairy tale. I don't really have anything critical to say about the classmates, aside from the fact that everything you are going through, they are pretty much going through as well. And I think some people do find comfort in that. And I don't think it is uncommon to be hit on or go out on a date or date a classmate. I know some classmates who dated classmates and so on and so on. Like they go out to beers together. You spend a lot of time with your classmates. Like you're spending 40 plus hours with them. So I think it is almost inevitable that someone may fall for a classmate or vice versa. But even though I don't have anything really critical to say about the classmate group, if you know you want to be with someone who maybe brings a different perspective to your life or to your current situation, instead of constantly finding yourself in this cycle of school, work, get home, school, work, get to school, work, get home, school, work. I personally think that, yeah, dating a classmate, you're gonna have a hard time getting out of that kind of cycle. Even if you swear up and down your classmate brings you peace, joy, brings you, like, they're different, 90% of the time you're gonna be talking about school, work. And I was like, yeah, I want to come home and have like 5 hours every day to not talk about school or work. So like I said, not critical, but very typical to date your classmates. Number 4, my personal favorite, the stable adult. Usually not even a grad, 99% of the time, not even 100% of the time, not even a grad student. Probably didn't even go to grad school, or probably didn't even get their PhD, probably just went to college, or probably got a career right out of high school. The stable adult is my personal favorite. I never would have thought when I first started dating in the early parts of my grad school that I would even bag a stable adult. And I didn't mean like bag, I meant to like scoop bag, because I felt like baggage. I felt like me being a student, financially, emotionally, mentally, emotionally, I am baggage to a stable adult, because I bring nothing to the table aside from stress, brokenness, complaints, and future ambition. Like, you know, I will graduate with my degree in 5 years, so you can just hold it down. No man and no woman wants that, I thought. But ironically, I did bag a stable adult, and now I'm shacking up with him, which is a story for a different day. After I graduate, we'll transition from grad school to my personal life. Y'all can get all up in my business about who I'm shacking with. Anyway, my favorite, number 4, the stable adult. Has a career, has health insurance, a regular bedtime, comes home to be like, yeah, work was stressful today, but isn't coming home crying about how their supervisor called them a failure, or crying about how they lost funding, or crying about how their defense is delayed. No, you're not getting none of that. And it is such a relief for me. I've had days where I have told my partner, who is the stable adult, like, this happened with my advisor said this, my advisor called me this. And I'm not being met with like trauma bonding of like, yeah, same, me too, babe. So I want to make it clear that the stable adult is not just an adult. This is like an emotionally also stable person as well. who's not belittling you, saying that your stress of grad school is nothing. They understand the weight that you're carrying. And if I had to give any graduate student advice, although I do not feel like you should date how I date, I will say if you choose to not date at all, or even if you choose to not seriously date, at least have a friend, a couple of friends, a group of friends who's not in grad school. You need balance. Your life, your 24/7 365 should not be your research or grad school. It really shouldn't. Like I support going out with your colleagues for beer if that's what you like, or for weekend stuff, but you need friends outside of your program. You really, that's like the one thing I could recommend. And then if you are dating, I would say, like, you know, try to date people who aren't in your program, who aren't in your department, who you don't share lab tools with, who maybe didn't even go to grad school, simply for experience. I can honestly say dating in grad school felt like a subplot that no one warned me about. Nobody warned me about it. I met people who couldn't handle my schedule, people who were kind of relying on my success for their success. And there was even a time in my life where I thought I would be the problem. I would be the burden. I would be the baggage. But now I know better. If you have met any of these characters, any of these groups or labels, I would love to hear your comments. Let's compare notes, laugh a little, maybe cry a little, maybe roll our eyes a little. Like, girl, let me tell you. And if you're still out here trying to get a degree and a healthy relationship, you are not alone. You're really not alone. That's all I have, you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.